I think I've got it. It's this button over here, isn't it? It's that one. That's the one that does the thing. Hey there, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It's so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is November 27th, 2023, and we're gonna write a little bit of code today. How you doing there, chat room? How's it going? My goodness, I took some time off this weekend. I didn't write any code, but I wrote a lot of issues, some ideas, thoughts, plans for the work that we've been doing on TagZap. If you're watching on YouTube, there's links to TagZap just below the source code. You can get to it. That's an open source project we've been working on here live on stream. If you're in Twitch, check it out. It's just on the top of chat, right there in the pinned message. Let me head over to the chat room. They're right over here. Folks on Twitch, I don't see anybody from YouTube yet. That's okay. We'll get into it. We'll get chatting here. What? It looks like it cut it off. It looks like it cut off chat for me. What? Hello. Polyglots, you need some C# guidance? Okay, let me know. Kaminarin, hello. Good to see you. Napalm Codes, good morning, Viet Fritz. How you doing? Great to see you, my friend. We had a good conversation this weekend. I got the project set up there. How you doing there, Serge? Good to see you. Basta CL 97. Hello to you in Chile. Nitro Evil. Yeah, why not have a Monday morning stream? Chaotic Monkey. Hello. We're doing well. Had a good weekend. Let me tell you, right? I start these Monday streams always talking about things, sports over the weekend. And let me tell you about football over the weekend. Oh my gosh. What a weekend for football. And when we talk about football over this weekend, we got to start with those Wrexham Red Dragons. What? You're not going to start with the Eagles? No, let's start with Wrexham. Amazing. 6-0 win. Moved into second on the table. Behind a losing Stockport side, so even made up ground. Fantastic. Yeah, Morecambe got slaughtered. They had just changed managers, and they got beat up pretty good there. Not gonna lie, they got walloped. But at the same time, so did all the other teams around Wrexham on the table. So they got to move up a couple slots there. Well positioned. I mean, we're only halfway through the season so far, but when you look at the Wrexham schedule, they've played the top 8 teams. They've played most of them at their grounds, and have a home match against them coming up in the second half of the schedule here. Like, that's favorable for them, and they haven't played very many of the teams on the bottom half of the table yet. So it's a favorable, not going to say that they've got this made, but it's a favorable second half of the schedule coming up here. All the best to them. I keep an eye on Wrexham. Even before the documentary happened, as a Philadelphian, as a sports fan, when we heard that Rob McElhenney was buying the club, we're like, this is interesting. Okay, let's follow along and see what happens. And I think the documentary series has just elevated everybody's interest here. Certainly mine as well. I saw that the third kit, the black shirts that Wrexham wears, they're available today at the store. And I was thinking about ordering one. But part of me is also like, it's Christmas. You don't buy something like that for yourself. You let somebody else, let one of the family members buy it for you. So I'm kind of, I don't know. So, how you doing there, Chaotic Monkey? Yeah, doing well. Everybody's home right now. We're going to be taking the daughter back to Penn State later today. So, how you doing there, little kingy? Fovid asks, what's the menu for today's stream? So, we've been working on TagZap, and we've been trying to improve. Last time we got in and we put in a welcome screen. So if you don't have configuration set yet for the application, it stops the startup and prompts you for some initial configuration information. Hey, where do you want to save things in the database? And we got that working nicely. we're going to do some more on that so that we can level up the development experience here for folks that want to contribute, for folks that want to download a copy of Tags app and get started. Right now there aren't really directions. It's hard to get started, so it's a little messy. So we're going to work through that. It's not a today, it's a project command, and I've got it pinned to the top of Twitch chat over there if you'd like to take a look at that. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at. That's where we're going to be going. So we're going to be talking a lot about Entity Framework Core today, .NET 8 and ASP.NET Core, and building and working around some of those things, and about migrations. So where we left off, great, you can save an entry for the database connection string, and we save that into a database. But once we've specified what the database is, we need to scaffold and build all the other entries for that database architecture so that we can then start using it for the rest of the application. That's where we're going to go today. We're going to get into that, restarting the application programmatically, which is its own interesting kettle of fish, and moving on from there. So other interesting things. To finish Fritz's football weekend wrap up, I was very pleasantly surprised that our Penn State Nittany Lions Friday playing in Detroit. Now, playing in Detroit, Michigan State decided to move the game from their home stadium outdoors, East Lansing, move it downtown Detroit for Black Friday. Okay, you're going to attract some more folks, some folks from downtown Detroit coming out to watch the game. Indoors, climate controlled inside that Ford Field with the retractable roof. Very, very nice stadium. They painted the Michigan State logo at center field, but they made one small mistake. The Detroit groundskeepers didn't swap out the end zones. For those of you that do know, North American National Football League, the Detroit team they're the Detroit Lions. Michigan State are the Michigan State Spartans. So here's this nice Greek Spartan logo in the middle of the field. They didn't swap out the end zones. So the end zones are bright blue and white Lions. Not Detroit, Lions. It says in the end zones. And here comes Penn State to town with their blue and white, and they're the Nittany Lions. They were quite welcome and won 42-0. So our Penn State Nittany Lions won 42-0 for those of you outside the States. And it just wasn't even close. Fantastic game. Very happy for the team finishing the season at 10-2. To win 10 games in a college football season is very difficult to do, but they've won it twice in a row. Both years they've lost to Ohio State and Michigan. We'll see if they can improve on that next year. Now we wait to hear the bowl selection, and that won't happen until after this weekend's matches with the championship going on. And finally, yesterday, my Philadelphia Eagles, came back to win in overtime. An amazing match. There's nothing you could say about coming back to win in overtime. Just unreal. Unhip Coder.
Unhip Coder just resubscribed for 37 months.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And I'll make a donation to the American Cancer Society. I've got a bunch of stuff this week that we're going to be taking care of. I'm going to be shipping a bunch of things out. I've got all kinds of stickers to send out, hats we're putting together, all of that stuff from the St. Jude Drive. That's going out this week because I've got a clear week ahead of me. So we're going to take care of a bunch of those things. Walter with a question here in chat. Is there anything to look out for when going from .NET 7 to .NET 8 in an existing project? Is it as simple as switching target framework? For the most part, it is. If you want to take advantage of other features to improve the speed and performance, you, of course, can tweak and tune. But for 99% of the projects out there, you can just change the version number and you should be good to go. Let me get some music playing here in the background. I'm going to go to the Stream Beats. Let me go to the EDM playlist today. I like the EDM music. It's kind of Kind of fun, kind of upbeat, and gets us moving. Let's start with this song. This is called Wave. Yeah, there we go. This is music that's DMCA free, royalty free. Listen to it wherever you want, except for on YouTube, where there's a scammer that claims that he owns this music. A big thanks to Harris Heller and his team of creators for putting this music together that we're listening to today. That's right, good old State College. Yes, yes. So, still weird to see Americans talking about football and concentrating on the lowest league. Yeah, Smab, you're right. You're absolutely right. And honestly, when I got into it, it was like, holy crow, we're looking at the lowest, the fifth tier league. Like, are you kidding? But happy to see success for Rob. Someone from the UK, Jamie Jam, says it's very strange as well, but you welcome it, right? Like, look, an influx of interest and economy, investment is good for everybody. They knew the Spartans weren't going to be spending any time in the end zones. That's right, Chaotic Monkey. There you go. Fovid, for fantasy football, it's kind of interesting. Is it? Okay. How you doing there, Manoj? Good to see you. Dr. Cox. Yeah, you know what? And I want to talk through. I put a bunch of our ideas, a bunch of things we've been discussing on stream into issues on the Tags app repository. Once again, check the link to the Tags app repository if you're watching on YouTube in the description just below. If you're on Twitch, it's a pinned message up there at the top of chat. How you doing there, Alute? Yeah, that's right. The Nostromo, you better find your cat. Better protect that cat. Gonna make it out of here all right. Nah, music. No, it's not. No. There's a list of breaking changes for there's always a list of breaking changes, and thank you, Deflux, for pointing that out. They're minimal when you're upgrading. They really try to minimize those. So yeah, there's the big one for me was containers. Because they changed the port in the container. So that was the big one. The good news is you're mostly going to get pointers to a lot of the new stuff that you may need to work with. So, hey, Pac-Man Jr. Hey, great to see you. Normally you're working but took some time off. Ah, that's great. I hope you enjoy the time off. I'm trying to take time off this week. It's not happening. There's too many other things going on. So, like, I've got to finish rewriting sessions and workshops for next week, getting them updated and ready to go for .NET 8, for the content that we're presenting there. So next week, I leave Saturday this week, the 2nd. I leave for Orlando and the Dev Intersection Conference. I'll be speaking there next week. And I've got so much code to rewrite, update, add additional lessons into so that folks understand and appreciate how these things work. Hey, Johnny B. Cat, good morning to you on YouTube. Long time no see. Oh, that's great. Work and family, that's, hey, nothing wrong with that. Family first. How you doing there, Ionescu? Thank you.
Just resubscribed for 23 months. Yep.
Yep, indeed. How you doing? And I'll make another donation like I do for all of our subscriptions and cheers on Twitch and ads on Twitch. I'll be making another donation to the American Cancer Society. So let's get into this. Let me show you a little bit of what I was talking about, what I was doing over here in the GitHub repository. It's right on the other side. It's right here. Look at that. The GitHub. Once again, the link is just down below in the description if you're watching on YouTube. It's over there at the top of Twitch. I forgot to put on my gunners. I even ran into it and rifled through my bag. I took my favorite gunner glasses here, the Marins. I took these with me on my last trip when I went to .NET Conf. Did you notice when I was hosting .NET Conf? Little Easter egg. Did you notice I wore 4 different pairs of gunner glasses across the 4 different breaks? that I was hosting on day 2. I switched glasses on each break. Nobody called that out. And I thought that was fun. There we go. Get the Gunner glasses on there. That feels good. So, yeah, look at that. All right. So, I opened a whole bunch of issues over here, and I also established... Go ahead.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
There it is. 93% certainty the spaceship Nostromo hat. That's right. From the movie Alien. I established a couple new milestones, right? And milestones are kind of aspirational. Are we going to hit them? I don't know. If we don't hit them, no big deal. But I figured let's set up a list of features to deliver for December, a list of features to deliver for January, and a list of features to deliver for February, and then stuff that we're just going to push out there and say, we'll do this sometime in the future. We want to do it, but sometime we'll do it in the future. And there's even stuff we finished for the future. No, show me everything. What's closed over here? Yeah, I think we got but stuff like TikTok, Instagram provider, LinkedIn provider, add the current live chat member list to the UI, an approved content scroller so you can have a lower third. Handle content warnings on Mastodon. I don't know. Maybe we do something with that. But we put other milestones out here. So I've got 28 issues out here that I listed for milestone 4. A couple of these are epics. A couple of these you can contribute to. But these are things that I think, you know what? They're going to be fun to build and work with. Dealing with channel moderation for the Twitch chat provider. So if somebody gets banned in Twitch chat, we should do something with that in TagZap. You know what? Let's also ban them on TagZap with a reason of Twitch ban or something like that. We need to be able to handle YouTube emotes. The modal windows that pop up on the Waterfall UI, it'd be great to be able to configure that. Right now it's hard-coded to .NET Conf, and .NET Conf was 2 weeks ago. So we'd like to be able to configure that with something on the back of it. Smooth animations. Let's get our CSS animation going. I've been working on this one, the out-of-the-box experience. We need to update to .NET 8, the release, the RTM version. We want to get the UI framework migrated to Blazor. I like this one from Chris Jones. You know what? Let's blur content from blocked users. If we know they're a bad deal, you know what? Moderators shouldn't have to look at that. So let's give moderators an option to have content from blocked users blurred on screen. So you don't even have to think about it. It's blurred. Hosts and moderators need a way to add custom messages to the waterfall. Yeah, right, Serge? Make the viewing optional. So, yeah, if there are toxic people, that's a mixture of folks and people, right?
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Yes, and the word is feeple. F-E-O-P-L, feeple. Anyways, I need a way to add custom messages. As a moderator, need a way to respond to viewers on their platform. This one kind of makes sense, right? Somebody tweets something, and you need to respond to them on Twitter or posts a message on Mastodon, and you need to respond to them. It'd be nice to have a click-through that puts you into reply mode automatically. And we've already started. This one, actually, we could probably put this as a good first issue, as help wanted. Thank you. Good first issue. Let's add a link to the what's the name of that screen? We put a screen out here for this. Right, it's the message details. Let's grab the exact link here that we're looking for so we can point out exactly where we want folks to add this, because I think, oh no. Hurry. No, fonts. Thank you. Fonts. Let's go. Change that. Don't give them any ideas. That's better. The Feeple. Where was I? So, message details, CSHTML. Message details, CSHTML. That opens a new tab to the selected message on the its specific platform, pre-configured in reply mode. And we'll figure out what that means. So, we're not going near that font. Don't. Check out the channel points below. Don't give them any ideas. Okay, so there we go. Need a way to respond. Napalm suggested, hey, we should probably have some NuGet packages here to help enable provider creation. I totally agree. As we add more features here, we need to put that out there so that the providers can be maintained separately and make it easy for folks to contribute providers here. Even though we're going to start hard coding some of that information. We'll see how that goes. We actually need to get some real version numbering on this. You have a feeling we may not want what now? Was it up in here? See if it makes sense to push to NuGet. Someone using a known service discovery mechanism to the aggregator to wire up TagsApp providers already deployed to a known network. Not sure. I think you might be onto something. I'm not going to do anything with that right now, but let me get back to that. The provider configuration UI, this is all just kind of happening along the way because of the out-of-box experience update. Improving this is a thing that is just kind of happening along the way. So I think we're okay with this. With these being added in here because they're part of what we're about to do. This is a very simple configuration update. Application theming. We could slide this out. Discord bot, I think, is something that we absolutely should do to, at the very least, start with a listening bot. We can add other future features to allow interaction with that chat bot and TagsApp in the future. Quite frankly, I'd like to move this sooner than later. Once we get into Blazor, this becomes very easy to do. A native Windows or Mac app. How you doing there, Blackzillion? Let me get back to that question in just a second. Sentiment analysis feels like the right thing to do once we start analyzing, but I think we want a message moderation pipeline to get there. Right now, when messages come into TagsApp, they get moderated and sent along, and there's a notification pipeline that happens. I think we need to formalize that so that it's easier for processes to be injected into that pipeline, because we've already started with adding not just human moderation but artificial intelligence moderation, adding sentiment analysis to get some other information and other analyses and inspections we do of our messages as they come in. We should really have a bit of a pipeline here, and I think that's going to be important for us to design and build properly. Darn it, we need a logo. We need a logo. I've asked our friend, you've seen her in chat, Junie Von Esch, to help out with this, and she's got a few ideas that she's already bounced off of me. A couple other and Nerdy Encounters, and I forget what her new screen name is. The Alchemical Queen, I think it is. They're contributing, working together. The Alchemical Queen did the Circle K logo for Clip Talk, so I've asked them to take a look at this and migrate the integration with the .NET Conf website. This, I think, is something that we can do easily. This, I think, is a NuGet package, right? And I think we look at building packages for other frameworks as well, so that if you want to integrate your website with TagsApp, it's just a NuGet package that you install, build a form, pass the entries, pass the configuration and values into the package, and it does the rest. Done. Simple. And we've already written most of the code with Javier there. So let's take the code that he's written, let's make it a little bit more generic, stuff it into a package, publish that package, and away we go. As we build more and more of TagsApp, it's becoming clearer and clearer to me that we're going to need a TagsApp organization, because there's going to be several projects that we're going to need to manage separately, several repositories we're going to manage separately, build, deploy. And if we can spread that out a little bit, it makes it easier for folks to contribute instead of one big repository. So those are the things that I'm looking at for what I'm calling milestone 4. I'm going to improve this continue working on this out-of-the-box experience. Get us upgraded to .NET 8, and then I think the version numbers are going to be what's on the agenda for the next week. Getting those couple things. The upgrade to .NET 8 RTM is going to be a drop in the bucket. It's going to be easy to do. I literally think this is going to be 15 minutes. Upgrade, tag all the GitHub actions so that they just go and we're done. So let me back up and get to this question over here. Oh, I forgot to... Shoot. Give me a second here. Hang on. And I'm not even going to go that long today because I do want to sneak into a couple of meetings. That's the wrong dashboard. That's the wrong dashboard. Let me get back into here. Let me go back into this question right here. Do I use GitHub Copilot? Oh, you betcha. Oh, you betcha. Listen to me. I sound like I'm from Wisconsin or North Dakota. Oh, you betcha. I sure do. It's been amazing. The amount of code that it generates for us automatically. Oh, yeah. You think service discovery would be nice in here? As a pool of services for all these providers, wire up and use them needed with the UI. You can have multiple instances. That type of architecture is the kind of thing that I want to support. We're getting there. We're gonna put that together. Johnny B. Cat, you're right. Hoping upgrading to .NET 8 will be just 15 minutes. It's going to take us longer to evaluate and make sure that the continuous integration works properly. We'll get there. Your new employer gave you Copilot Enterprise? Nice. Yeah, it can get very productive in there. So we're working on the out-of-the-box experience here. So we're building a wizard. A wizard? You're a wizard, Harry. That prompts you and gets you started in the configuration process here. That also means that we broke all of our playwright tests. We'll get there. We'll fix those. Let me get a console open here because I like to work at the console. So we're down into here. Really? There we go. And so let's split the console there. Let's make sure that Karnak is open. Thank you so much. And is my Docker container running? It is. Good. All right. Let's get back over to the source code and see. I've gutted the application settings, right? So that when you first log in, I want you routed to this page that prompts you, hey, how do you want the database configured? So that we know how to get things started here. So let's not. I need to be in the right folder. There we go. Now let's do a .NET launch profile, HTTPS. Open up. Yes, I know I'm using a preview. Chuck
Beasley just resubscribed for 15 months.
15 months with us. Thank you so much. And I'll make another donation to the American Cancer Society. Good. There it is. And so we get this first start configuration prompt. And as I was looking at this the other day, it also kind of hit me. I have this, and I was going through and testing this, and I was putting the same configuration and everything. So I'm looking at this and thinking we should probably have like basic and advanced. Like, hey, where do you want to store everything, and prompt for one configuration? Or would you like to split these up and put them in different locations and separate them appropriately? Pac-Man Jr. with a good question here as we look at this. What are my thoughts on using .NET Aspire with TagsApp? Your guess is someday. I'll go you one better than that. Because I completely agree with you. Let's go down here to milestone 5. How's that right there? How you doing? Yeah, I agree. So, getting ready for this is a bit of what we're doing now, as well as delivering some other value. Our friend Brady Gaster is very interested in going through this process with us. And I mentioned on social media over the weekend, as I was going through and writing up some of the issues here, and I mean, you could see I was going to town here a couple days ago, just writing a bunch of stuff that, hey, wouldn't it be great if we did these things? As I was talking through, hey, we'd like to have Brady on to help with this. Well, you know what? There's a bunch of other folks in the .NET community, .NET program managers that we should probably invite on and talk about some of these things with. So I've extended an invite to some folks talking about other providers here. Did I put the one provider? I did not. But I've invited some folks from a few other companies that build products that might be fun to integrate here and do some pair programming streams, adding in their services, their capabilities as optional features that you can light up inside TagsApp if you want, or when we get to a hosted TagsApp application, right? Because I even put it out here, public website. Add those their features to that public website. And it was even suggested to me that we set up TagsApp like in the same way that WordPress is, right? Because anybody can download the WordPress source code, but it's you can set it up and it's no problem. Go set it up. Here's how you do all the things. But there's also WordPress.com out there that has a hosted, secured service that you can purchase and set up a tenant inside of and use for a nominal fee a month. All doable. And something that we can consider here. Continuing through looking at some of the discussion here, Napalm says, one problem you learned about Aspire that needs to be addressed to make it up, the mono repo Uber project thing. Right. So, what I think folks are missing about Aspire, this is a very early first preview concept that a lot of folks have taken to and said, this is amazing. It's not ready yet. Like, to be clear, there isn't a go live license with this. You can put stuff live. You're welcome to it. It's open source. Everything's out there, right? Everybody's welcome to go check it out at github.com/Aspire. And you can watch them work on this. And there's a heck of a lot more issues here this week than there were last week. And it's coming. They're absolutely in here triaging, responding, assigning folks to these things. It's coming. So being able to pull in components for multiple projects. There's already a discussion going here to make this work. So it's coming. And being able to bring in stuff that isn't .NET. All things on the agenda. Right? There's a backlog, there's discussions going on, there's 32 pull requests sitting out here that the team's going to review and merge and talk about. Like, it's coming. Like, there's really good stuff coming. Add AWS DynamoDB. Great. So they're actively engaging, working with, and making this happen. So while I agree with you, there's big pieces that are missing. There's big pieces that already work. So it's coming. Nitro Evil asks, have I used HTMX? No. I see HTMX as just another fad UI framework that a bunch of folks have picked up and said, hey, this is kind of neat. Great. That's kind of neat. UI frameworks come and go quickly. The ones that stand the test of time are going to be around for a long time and have a lot of support. So, and if they don't have a big company behind them, it's hard for them to stand the test of time. So, you're excited for potential for Aspire. We're definitely going to be spending a lot of time with it. You're right, Pac-Man Jr., there is a Kubernetes deployment feature now for Aspire. I think they I forget what they called it. But there is a Kubernetes component for this as well that's available. So, first time watching live? Oh, thank you. DJ Robert Minardi. Welcome. Welcome. So, a lot of things kind of on the agenda here. But thinking about, right, getting back into TagZap here. When you first start this, I think I should prompt you, hey, do you want everything to go through the same Postgres SQLite in-memory provider? Because I have the same options available. Other than, I could do this in memory also for testing. I could. Wouldn't be hard. But I have the same configuration, and some folks will want to split these up. And some folks, and particularly for testing, you're going to want to put them all in the same place. So, HTMX isn't new. It doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. It's been accepted into the GitHub Open Source Accelerator. Hey, great. September 2018. So it's 5 years old that they've been bunch of sponsors. Okay. So, very JavaScript based, very NPM focused framework. Not for me. There are folks that have it wired up and working with Blazor. It's not for me. Yep, everything can be a fad. It's an attempt to obfuscate JavaScript behind HTML. Yes. Will I be running an Aspire series? I think we're going to pair program with some folks and bring Aspire into this. And then Aspire will be a part of the construction and deployment of this. So, obfuscating JavaScript. We've been doing that well enough in .NET. An argument could be made that ASP.NET's goal from the beginning has been to obfuscate JavaScript. Right, going back to 2002 in web forms. You can make an argument for that. As a former ASP.NET program manager, I would patently disagree. It happens to be a byproduct of it, but it's never been a goal of it. And it does do that. So, and just like JavaScript tries to obfuscate things that it can't manage itself. Yeah, right? Every programming language wants to keep you in their ecosystem as much as possible. Sure. Nothing wrong with that. It means that your developers, your community gets to build with the things that you like to build with. Who's going to argue with that? Sorry, you're not allowed to build this feature with Python because you need to use Java to build it. And we're not going to enable you to work with it. We're not going to connect and provide integration with that. You must use Java because we at the Python Foundation don't like it. Do you really think you're ever going to hear that? They want to enable folks to do that. Yeah, abstractions on top of abstractions. This comes back to the we are mentality that I have about technology. We're all inspired by each other. We all learn from each other. We all collaborate with each other. Anybody that tries to tell you differently is gatekeeping. So, like, do we have the only programming languages we're ever going to have here in 2023? No. A rising tide raises all ships. That's right. I'm not a fan of the weare.net folks. I'm not a fan. There's a little bit of weird history there that it's not my place to go into, but there's a little bit of weird history there that I'm not a fan of. C# feels like using Java with a cheat code, says Harrison. And you can thank the U.S. government for that. Point blank, you can thank the U.S. government for that. Make no bones about it. C# is a byproduct of the U.S. judicial system. I'll explain. Because back in 2000, Microsoft was being investigated by the SEC for monopolistic behaviors surrounding how they were packaging and moving Windows. As that was happening, the programming teams were taking Java, enhancing it, and making it very, very effective for building Windows applications. And there was a very nasty back and forth between Sun Microsystems and Microsoft about how Microsoft wanted to use Java. And Sun blocked Microsoft from using Java the way they wanted to. Never mind, Google has gone and done exactly that with Android now. But I digress. Oracle tried suing Google for exactly that. Oracle has since acquired Sun. Oracle is the current owner of the Java copyright and what have you. Sued Google for how they've re-implemented Java and made it specific to the Android operating system, and they lost. Sun tried to do that to Microsoft at the time that Microsoft was already being investigated by the SEC, and Microsoft said, you know what, this is another kettle of fish we don't want to get involved with, so we're going to take this, and instead of all the things that we were applying to make Java better, we're going to apply to this other language that we were tinkering with and researching called Cool. And we're going to take all those things that we liked about Java that we wanted to put into Java, and instead we're going to put them into Cool. And we're going to have it run against the same runtime that Visual Basic runs against. Instead of calling it Cool, because we can't ship a programming language called Cool, everybody has a programming language called C. So we're going to create ours and we're going to call it C#. And the US government birthed C#. I've oversimplified that a bit. I've cut the corners on the story a little bit, but the US government turned Microsoft's implementation of Java. And it would be very cool if we all had a great platform for Java that we could work on. Microsoft has our own Java runtime that you can use. But the US government spawned off C#. Yeah, I think so. Didn't mean to digress the subject from TagsApp regarding HTMX, was just a question. This is going to get into a Blazor application. That's one of the next steps here. Victim of the U.S. justice system. Wasn't there a JScript around that time? There was. Yes, there was. And that fell out of favor very quickly. And that was and there was also J++. Those all disappeared, gone because of the U.S. judicial system. What happened over here? Let me mute the popping coming in here from the what's it called? From the Mastodon page that I have monitoring Mastodon. Continuing here. Yes, C#'s code name was Cool, and Cool stood for it was something object-oriented language. C-like object-oriented language, I think so. Yep. That's right. So that's why Scott Hunter, former lead of the .NET projects, his Twitter handle is CoolCSH. That's why. Wonder if Richard Campbell mentions this and is nearly done. He not only does he mention it, he covers it extensively. Right at the beginning of, if you watch Richard, some of his lectures on the history of .NET are available on YouTube, and I don't want to speak out of turn for him. He's a good friend, but he absolutely spends time covering the startup of .NET and how the changeover, the CEO changeover from Bill Gates to Steve Ballmer affected the development of .NET, and how .NET actually started off out of the box as not open source, but source opened. There's a lot that happens there that the U.S. judicial system forced on Microsoft, and kind of laid some of the groundwork for a bit of what you now see as the inherent culture of the .NET team and the developer division of Microsoft that's in place today. So, you feel like these days Microsoft could ship a language called Cool? I agree, Regathian. It's a different Microsoft from the days of Bill Gates. Definitely oversimplified. I am no doubt about that. I don't want to put words in the mouth of folks that I deeply respect, like Anders Hausberg. I consider Anders a friend. I'm floored that every now and then I get to have a chat with the man who invented how many programming languages, and certainly Mads Torgerson and the C# team. Yeah, there's definitely respect, and I want to oversimplify that. You're welcome to go and research the news articles yourself to learn more about them. Regarding Blazor, because I can't find content on the subject, should you create your own implementation from authorized view? I wouldn't create my own authorized view implementation. No. You inherit from it, and that's your page that you're building, right? Or you wrap elements with it that you want to be authorized. People must have been so jazzed working on the Cool project. I don't know. How you doing there, Tick Tick Boom? PC Nerd hasn't messed with Java in years as the language continued to evolve to keep up with language. Kotlin, the folks at JetBrains have forked it a bit, and Kotlin is out there. There's other languages that have evolved that folks have built on top of the Java runtime that write Clojure among them, that behave and have different structures, different syntaxes, and that's great. If you want to build other programming languages that move things forward, fantastic. I go back to something that Bill Gates set forth for the product teams at Microsoft. If you can't release a product that is at least 10 times better than the thing you're competing with, don't. If you're trying to build the exact same thing, don't. But if you're going to make it 10 times better, okay, let's talk. So, if you're going to build a programming language that isn't as good as JavaScript, Python, Java, you don't have aspirations to make it better, to find that key feature that's going to make it significantly better. Why? Just contribute and upgrade the other thing, right? Make that 10 times better, then everybody benefits. That's cool too. So, comes back to that we are mentality. Why go off and do something on your own when you can contribute to something that we're all working on together, and then everybody benefits? That's a good thing. You inherit from authorized view, then override some of the implementations. Yeah, you can do that. Sure. Okay, so I wanted to take this and put a basic mode out here that lets you specify just one provider and connection string and use it for all three, and give you an advanced mode so you can customize the three if you'd like. And then once this is selected, right, and it's wired up, right, because here, if I go back into here, if I go into my app development, so here's that default setting that I have for a container on my machine, right? And if we paste that into all three of these, right, and submit, bang! It doesn't know where to get this configuration from is what's going on. But if I let this reload, right, no build, which seems weird. Yeah, it's going to restore and redo the thing. Yeah, I know the database is already up to date. Yeah, see, it doesn't know what to do, where to load the configuration. So it hits this and kind of chokes. This is the next piece that we need to build to come back around and say, okay, now that we do have a configuration, go load it from these places over here. So that's where I'm going next. But there it is. Do it again. Come on now. Oh! Wrong port. Yeah, I know it's not a secure connection. Yeah. There we go. Back into here. So let's figure this out. And then we'll update it. Yes, Pac-Man Jr., right? This is one of those interesting things that you don't get into unless you're packaging the application for other folks to download. So we're bootstrapping the application and changing the underlying configuration. It's a fun problem that we're going to address here, and we're going to answer. Newbie with a good question here that I kind of skipped over. We should answer this. Thank you, Newbie, for asking this. What is that -LP that I'm passing through here? You're right. Let's do that again. Let me do that again. So, right, let's come here. Thank you. It's right, -LP. That's launch profile is what that is. So this is saying run the HTTPS launch profile, which does include launching and giving me a secure version of the website there, which opened in the completely wrong browser over on the other screen. And there it is, running on 7007, which you saw right there is the secure. If I didn't do that, right? If I didn't give it the launch profile, it's going to come through and give me just the HTTP one. So, I'd like to run it with the SSL one. But actually, what I'd like to do, I'm going to put this in watch mode because I want to tweak a little bit of that user interface so that we can choose between basic and advanced mode. To specify some more configurations. And darn it, it opened on the other screen again. Get back over here. There we go. So I think this is a fun little problem that we're going to address just a little bit here, and get into some more, some more of how this impacts the initial availability of the application. So, and which is also going to affect our playwright tests, right? We have automated tests sitting out here that exercise parts of the website, not all of it, but parts of it. So let me get back in here. Here's my first start connection strings, right? So I got just some basic HTML. I think what we need to do here is put a radio button up top that says, do you want basic or advanced configuration? You know what I mean? Let's take this message. Would you, what am I doing? Would you like to take a basic approach with all configuration in one database? Or would you like to be able to choose multiple databases for various parts of the application? ? And it didn't type any of that. And now I feel sad. Come here. Test. No. This is a test. You're not going to type for me, are you? All right, fine. Would you like a basic configuration with all... What? No. That's actually not a bad idea. Stored in a single database or in memory in a single repository? Or would you like to specify separate? Or would you like an advanced configuration with separate storage for configuration? Oh, man. Who was asking about Copilot earlier? Who was asking about Copilot earlier? Because that's so good. That's so good. And what we'll do... I've already got class there. And so now I'll just turn on and off. If you've asked for advanced configuration, show everything in the config advanced. Copilot's so helpful to Doug the coder. Can't picture development without it anymore. Yeah. Yeah. There were folks who used to say that they refuse to use Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code because the IntelliSense rots the brain. Really? What does this do for you now? I agree, Oakleus. The large language models are very helpful. You love Copilot and GPT? You think it's already a better developer than you? I'm not going to quite go there just yet. Sure, I'll make this a string on the backside here. No. Consequently, then, this is not required. This is not required. This is not required, but if they're not present, we're going to want to specify those. Running something PowerShell for setup instead of HTML UI stuff. So I think I'm already enabling something like that because I've got the ability to write that initial connection string in here with the provider. And because of the way that the application can scaffold programmatically, I think I've already got a PowerShell configuration enabled. That said, would you mind opening an issue on the repository to talk about scripted configuration? Because I think that's very doable, and I think we're already a bit of the way there. And this is the kind of thing that I want built so that the average Twitch streamer, YouTube streamer can grab a copy of TagsApp and say, let me run this to monitor my stream and my social media. So, not me. How you doing, Wake? You're more of a duct tape and pray kind of developer? All right. Regathian's fine with a little bit of brain rot when every third key you press is either tab or enter. Yes. HTMX and XHTML are two different things. XHTML is I do write. If you look at the HTML that I write, I do typically write XHTML. It's not HTMX. That's different. Yeah. The number of keystrokes that Copilot saves is immense. If I don't have to think about building that piece of user interface like you just saw it generated here for me, fantastic. I'd love to be able to dictate more of this, and for some reason the Windows dictation didn't pick up some of that stuff, but hey. Is there something you need to do specifically? Chris LeBron, I'm flattered that you're interested. Nothing you need to do. However, the startup experience is a bit rough right now. It is. There's a number of configuration options that you must specify before you can get into it, and we're trying to smooth that out right now. So, but you can certainly get in there and stand up a container and point to the container and tell it this is where you should save all the things. You can do that. Chris Jones!
Chris Jones just resubscribed for 58 months. Hey Fritz and chat. Happy Monday, grown.
Happy Monday to you. Hope you're doing well. 58 months with us. And as we do with all of our subscriptions, all of our cheers, I'll make a donation to the American Cancer Society, and our friends at Microsoft will match that donation. Thank you so much for that generosity, Chris. If we did see Copilot kind of go wild last time. Did somebody clip that? I hope somebody clipped that. If only we had a clip management website that we could feature that on and share that. Did somebody clip it? I don't even know. Content clips. Give my mods permission to feature clips. Oh, yeah, there it is. Copilot, you make me sad. Can I feature that from Surly Dev? How do I feature that? Share, moderation, share. Yeah, how do I feature this? What's that button? Right? How do I crop to portrait? I could. Yes, do that. Oh, really? What's that? Yeah. Yeah, that's what we want it to look like. That's right. There you go. And then save the file. Come on. Come on, Copilot. Let's go. You make me sad. There was another clip. With Copilot where it started like arguing with itself. Yeah, here it is. Where okay, yeah. This is the other one, and Surly Dev grabbed this one too. Hang on, let's grab this one. I think Copilot is revolting against me. It's become sentient, friends. What happened?
60% of the time, it works every time.
Developers.
And look at this. It doesn't even format it nicely on Twitter. No, there we go. Now it does. I think Copilot is revolting against me. Should I turn that? I'm going to allow that. Have I made it YouTube Shorts? I should. Kind of blows you away that it can attempt to take care of tasks based on description. It is. Yes. Hey, Caveman's crafting. Going well. How do I edit this? Can I do that? Edit this real quick? Turn this into portrait mode? Isn't there a thing there to do that? There was. Can we do that real quick and then get back into writing the code on this? Here we go. Crop to portrait. Here, stop my music. It's too much going on. Dear Lord. So... and this should be down here. Right? Can I drop that? Okay. Hey, that kind of looks nice. No. I'd like to move it. Okay, fine. So how does that look if we let that keep rolling? Can I move my name? I think Copilot is revolting against me. It'd be nice if I could move my name there. I mean, I could turn it off. It's become sentient, friends. Like, I just want to move it down a smidge, you know? What happened?
60% of the time, it works every time.
All right, let's do a thing there. Share to YouTube Shorts. Sure. Share to TikTok. Okay. I asked GitHub Copilot to... I think Copilot is revolting against me. And then... it's become sentient, friends. Got frustrated and... ordered it to write code. And then... chaos. What happened? Yeah, okay, that's shut up, me. Yep, Twitch has this. So what if I try and connect my TikTok? Right, is that the right one? I think that's the right one. Sure, I think that's it. Sure, allow comments. My Twitch channel name will be removed from the clip due to TikTok policies. Whatever. So let's see. If I do this, and I do that. So this is now on YouTube Shorts. I think that's me, right? Is that me? That's me. It's already there. So, well, that was fun. Things Fritz learns about working with social media live on stream. What can I tell you? All right. Let me get back in here and caught up. How do I think is happening? Yeah, it's some data. Had a bit of fun last weekend. Come on. Working on a Unity that connects with an open API GPT-4. Neat. Very cool. How's the coding project going today? It's going well. No, Sean. What about if I? Yeah, no. You like the vertical clip? I do too. It's kind of nice. Yeah, go subscribe to my YouTube. Hey, LeBlon's. Hello. So there we go. All right, getting back into this. So that should have saved. Did it rebuild? Go ahead and rebuild. Update my user interface. Your company started to use Azure Functions to parse company documents to put into VectorDB. Neat. Gotta say, loving Azure Functions? Yeah. The new versions of Azure Functions are a heck of a lot easier to use. I don't want this to be a drop-down. I want this to be a radio button. And then we'll show hide stuff appropriately there. Convert this to a radio button. That's dumb. That's dumb. Not gonna lie. That's a little bit dumb. That's a lot dumb. Not gonna lie. Like, not gonna lie. That's dumb. And there is no checked on this because you're not coming back into the screen. In fact, let's just take this. Get rid of that. Oh. There we go. And back over here, it's rebuilding. It's going to refresh the user interface. And Bob's your uncle. I want them actually side by side next to this. Right, can I just do this? Can I do that? Yeah, that's better. Right, and put a thing here like this. And I could do a class MR3, something like that. Give me some more space there, friend. 5. A loop for 2 options, right, Pac-Man Jr.? Like, come on now. And oh gosh, I think I broke a div here. I did. Get rid of that one. That's better. Also, I'd like these to be next to instead of above. I don't know. Let's start with that checked. Not volume. Toggle advanced. Put a little bit of script down here at the bottom. Thank you. Really? Put that back over there. Right. Right, wasn't that what I called it? Yep. There we go. Oh, security database provider isn't in there. Dot. There you go. Yeah, MR is margin, right? I want a margin right. Yeah? What are my potential fixes? No. Let's do that. That's better. It's ME? Is it? Why'd they change it? Gonna do that? That's better. Thank you. Hey, Tara Code. It is me. Why'd they change it to me? I thought it was MR for right. Why E? Yeah. Help me out there. Dr. Cox with a link here to help us out. For end. Because it's right to left sensitive. Ah. Okay. That makes sense to me. I can buy that now. All right. All right. I'm good with that. Thank you for the link. So that makes sense. I'm on board with that. All right. So let's just do the show hide thing for the stuff. Right. So where'd it go? Right. Right, so I just basically want to say if really checked. Hi, show the stuff. right? Well, that didn't do anything. No. Right? Yeah, it's not even calling that. On change, toggle advanced. Right, that should. Don't make me go wire this up with a bit of code. Yeah, on change. On form change? I don't want to be on click. That doesn't work either. Now you feel shame. What? Right, my script is on the page, isn't it? Let's double check that. Make sure I didn't do anything dumb there. Ah, there it is. I do have jQuery in there. But, who dat? Oh my gosh, Sinclairinator!
Sinclairinator0 just gifted 5 subs.
5 gift subs in the channel. Thank you so much. And I'll make 5 more donations to the American Cancer Society. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. We're gonna see some gift subs go out to Dr. Cox, Artemeds, Codavalino, One Lion, and Biozel. Congratulations, you got gift subscriptions. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that support. Yeah, that's not working either. What? Developers. Vood Dude, thank you. Yeah, that should work, right? No. How you doing there, Sinclairinator? Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm stuck in JavaScript there. There we go. And it doesn't toggle off. We're going to have to call it also in the basic. Because it isn't on the on change on both. Did I not say? I didn't save. So, show the stuff, hide the stuff. Okay. Right. Happy Monday to you. Thank you so much. That was very generous. Appreciate it. Very appreciate it. Let's see here. So, if we're showing the stuff, I want to basically modify that CSS rule. Modify the config advanced CSS rule to remove the display none. Thank you. Thank you, Copilot. I don't think that's the correct one. I don't think that's the correct one. How identify the CSS rule for yeah, that's it. Sure. No. So how do we go through the style sheets and find it? Well, I could say style. I could say no style sheets length. So it goes to the last one, which should be the one. Or it's either going to be length or it's going to be length minus 1. Yeah, it's too many. Boom. There it is. All right. That's kind of tricksy. I thought there was a way to reference and dig through and find a specific one, but whatever. We'll just cheat and do this for now. Okay, so I'm showing and hiding those things. So what I can do now is I can detect and pull back. If we are in basic mode, just deploy the same configuration to everything. So we're always going to do this. No. If configuration type. Hey there. Oh my gosh. Kasuvnish. Wow. You like to challenge me here. Kasuvishna Nia. Kasuvishnia? Welcome. So if it equals basic. String comparison. Ignore case. So what I'm going to do is just roll out the same settings to everything. And the other code down here that saves those settings will just do the same thing, right? So I'll say security provider equals provider. Content provider equals provider. Security connection string equals connection string. Thank you, Copilot. So it just rolls out those settings for everything. Hey, Greenish Pepper, good morning to you. And we should probably have some sort of detection up here also that if it's in memory that's selected, it does something. Sure. So Postgres, and if I copy in my connection string that I love to use, that's right over here. We can get rid of that. Submit, and feels bad, man. What are you upset about? Eat broke. The only one that's... Even that's not required. Yay, Chris Funk. And Warm Peas. Hello, hello. Let's rebuild. Something doesn't feel right. And when it doesn't feel right, I'm going to restart that John. You can see the little restart jammy there. No. We're going to navigate to that. Paste that in. It's on basic. Go. No. Configuration type, bind property. Yeah. Configuration type. Configuration type, so that should bind. We can do an ASP4 on that. Rebuilding. Why'd the database administrator leave his wife? She had one-to-many relationships. Bad. How you doing there, bald-bearded builder? Hello, hello, my friend. Good to see you. Now, do this and that. Submit. Nothing. Gonna get this thing fixed and saved here. You're better than that DBA. Oh, that's good. I just reloaded my water bottle, and this is mixed berry I put on there. Yeah, that's mixed berry, all right. All right. So get me in here. Breakpoint there. Value, submit. Is valid, false. Why? Entry 7. Valid, 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 invalid on content connection string and security connection string. Really? Because we didn't add any validation to it. So... There's no validation there. And we added validation entries. Content. Security. And it did not put anything there. Her memory wasn't great. This doesn't make sense. You know what? I'm going to take the validation out. I mean, the only thing... That connection string is required. But these other ones, it's like... Just clean it out, just to be safe. Try that again. Neither was her integrity. Ooh. Ooh. Come on. Where's my browser? Thank you. Right? So that should error. And I'm okay with that. Connection string field is required. Paste that in. Submit. Still false. And it's on... Why? Attempted value empty. Errors. Yeah, what's the model error? No, it's not required. It's not required. Not required. Oh my gosh. Ozsoy Hussein. Hello. Welcome. It's not required. Look. If I do this, does that help? I don't know. How do you get job experience for entry-level jobs that require job experience if they all require job experience? Internships and contributing to open source projects are ways that I've seen folks get around that. Now it's true. Because I put the the ability to accept nulls into there. So this should then blow up. There it is. Because now we can do the crazy stuff. So you're waiting on Azure to add .NET 8 to App Service in UK South. It's not available there. Marcus, tweet me that. Tweet me that and I'll make a phone call. Okay. So that's an interesting place for it to error out. But it's because the thing isn't there yet. Okay. Next steps. So I think we've got our login screen appropriately configured, because now if I drop over into here inside the database, run that, and it saves my settings and they all look the same. Okay. Right. And we can even reset this. Yeah. Let's reset this. Right? And just to do this one more time, drop table system configuration. I don't know why I hit save. Back into app settings. Yep, got to restart. Here we go. Do this one more time. Just so we can see it, putting the thing out. So basic configuration, there's that. And we're going to hit the error because none of the configuration has been loaded. But over here, we've got our system configuration table with our first set of configuration options all saved. Nice. That's what we're looking for. Moving on. And it'll also work with SQLite. Should we try SQLite? I'm going to zoom past that, assuming that it works. Because I can do that. Let's clear out app settings. Thank you. added a basic configuration option. Did I forget to add an in-memory as one of the options? Yeah, that's fine. In-memory as well, so we can set up almost a test version. Okay, so that page is done. So after you're done saving the configuration options here, do we apply migrations here? Right there. Or do we do it in the normal startup boot up of the website? And we have to do this startup boot up. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Sinclair Nighter, when I heard that as well. Should be available everywhere. As of November 14th. So that's almost 2 weeks ago. Should be available everywhere. So if you're having a problem and you don't see it, give me a screenshot and send it over to me on Twitter. And I'll make a phone call. Next steps. So we were looking at ways to reset, to recycle, to restart. Restart an ASP.NET Core website programmatically. No. Now somebody put a config, put a for loop around the run. Yeah, you can call shutdown and stop the application. That's a thing. Thanks for the ads there, friends. Holy smokes! Look, I appreciate bloggers saying, hey, I need to cover some of my hosting costs. But come on! What do we got over here? This one. Yeah, that's just calling stop. It's the same thing. Somebody had a nice... It's the same thing. The exact same answer. Here it is. This is the one that I liked. So they have public static void main that has a run. It says cancel. So you can shut down and it'll stop. The idea that I would do is let's put a for loop around this so I can say restart and it stops and restarts. So let's get dangerous. So let's go back into program, and man, is this busy over here. Not gonna lie, I'd like to break this up a little bit. Not gonna lie. So we make this a heck of a lot easier to manage. I've already got chunks of it over here in this service extensions class. Along with the bit for the startup middleware. Let's move you somewhere else. Move to its own file. Thank you. So this is adding in the providers and things. That's nice. But it doesn't do everything, and it's still a mess. It looks like an unmade bed over here. So if I'm going to restart this, John, right, there's a cancellation token that you can pass into that run statement down here. Hey there, Noobliss303, welcome. We like having new folks join us. Welcome. That doesn't have a cancellation in it. Not going to lie. So I got this. Let's combine the two. Right? I started to inject it over here. Let's combine the two. How do I get one of them? I want one of them. Give me one of them. Right, because app down here is web application. What other options do we have there besides run? Well, there's the lifetime. Yeah. Let it only run for 5 seconds. What? I mean, that would give us access to it, but I don't have access to it. So, what if? Private, static, application. Was it host lifetime? I don't know. I host application lifetime. Sure. Right, so when this thing starts... no, that was fine. Down here, it just says app.run, right? Was there a run async? Does that, John, take the... It does take a cancellation token. Well, that's all I need, right? No. Let's make this a cancellation token source. Sure. Do we really need all that? We can just do new. Ta-da! So here we can just say source.token. Right? That's a thing. Yeah, I know. And I think I do an await on that, don't I? Yep, rebuild, run that thing. So then I should be able to reach into that token and... Oh, really? You don't like the await? Fine. That's not going to block, is it? Yeah. Because it shut down immediately right after it. Eat the broke. Well, wait. I'm in a public static void main. Wait a minute. Oh no, I do want it that way. Oh, wait a sec. I was actually in a good place. Right? So if I do it like that, do it like that? I guess that works. Yeah, friends, do me a favor. Go over to the TikToking, and there we go. That worked. So now what I can do, right? You just watched the Eagles and Chiefs game live? You watched the Eagles and Chiefs game live? Yes. And the same Walmart ad kept rerunning? Yes. So now what I could do, right? I can reach, let's make this public, and I'm going to rename this to restart source. Restart source, okay? So what I could do, no, don't make that, hang on. No, I like that idea better. right? Make this private again. Public void restart. This should probably be static as well, right? Private static bool restarting. Yep. So we'll say restarting equals true. Source. Yep. Cancel. Let's start this as true because we need it to start the first time. And yep. Reset it if need be. Thanks so much. So now it should start properly, right? And it should stop properly too. But I agree with you, James. Like, right, when we're watching, when you're watching sport, and you don't really have this with international football, but here in the States, American football is almost set up to show more advertisements. Be aware of how you schedule your advertisements so you're not showing the same thing back to back to back to back to back. That doesn't do anybody any favors. Okay, so that looks like it starts properly. So now what I can do, right, I can come over here and after I'm done all this, I can say main dot, why can't I say main? No, because it's called program. Haha, that's why. Name it right. Program restart. Right. And then redirect a page. Let's make program restart. Let's make that a task. Return. Right, because then I'm going to call the restart and then redirect, and it should be doing the restart behind the scenes. Should. Let's see what happens. Like, right, it should stop the web server and restart, which would be very, very cool. All right, so I'm going to key in a connection string here, and I've got my favorite connection string. I'll key that in. Go. Is it doing the thing? Did it hit those? Some services are not able to be constructed. Yes. Yes. So it did restart. Right? Yeah. So it did restart. Antonio Bramboris. Welcome, Antonio. It's good to have you. Just waiting for the AI ads that are generated just for you based on your preferences. See, I think that's kind of a better thing, right? Because then you weren't being shown things that you're not interested in. I don't think I have to tear down the DI because I've nuked the builder. It's a brand new builder here. So Pac-Man Jr., I think I'm in the clear because that thing doesn't exist yet. Better than seeing adverts for shampoo. There you go, Marcus, right? Or similarly, folks that have been through Alcoholics Anonymous or other substance abuse issues, programs, and getting advertisements from the National Beer Company. Like, don't really need to see that. So Okay. Now we need to start pulling from the new configuration provider. Now things get a little interesting. You get a lot of the booze ads. Allure the Crow, all the best to you. That is not easy. So, what if you're interested in seeing what other people are interested in? That's a fair question too. Sure. All right. I want to save what I've got at this point because that's weird. So let's add startup config middleware. Clear out the app settings JSON. Right. Added restart capabilities. Okay, so now it has a way to restart the application for us. 7 years. Congratulations, Alu. I know that's hard. So it's not a problem that I have. I do well controlling when I do decide to consume. And I know that it can get away. So, all the best. Okay, so the pieces I need to figure out next here, right? And this is all in the name of packaging and allowing this to kind of restart on its own. I'm moving application configuration. There's provider configurations there. I've kind of nuked application configuration here. Huh. Yeah. It's stuff that's going to be in system configuration. So, and I'm getting rid of this configuration provider. We tried to build our own configuration provider here, and it was just messy. So I'm going to run through my own invented, conjured provider here. So let's start doing this. So trying to configure application configuration, which has things like, yeah, the header markdown, YouTube configuration, these things. So I don't need this. And I don't think I need this. Because what I think I can do, right, this has, each one of these is a setting. I could grab each setting and save them separately. Or I could just stash it as one big JSON block. Where's this being used? Is it being used at all? Oh, dear Lord. Well, wait, that's inside this own file. Yeah. That's in the saving. That's in this repository over here for working with, which I'm more or less gutting. Yeah. Because I already have this over here. Yeah. So this is kind of the architecture that I have right now, where I've got 2 different places that you can store content and a whole bunch of different places that you can send in configuration when you start this thing up. And this goes towards a little bit towards the flexibility of being able to inject and start up with different configurations from different locations, and it's a pain in the neck to manage. So we want to do this. You inject app settings, and then we're going to have a configuration provider out here that has all the information about where the configuration providers are configured, all the application customization, all of that configuration in one place. So I'm taking this bit right here and nuking it in favor of this one, because by putting it into this one, I'll be able to do this in the future. All right. That makes sense. Here we go. Hey, Jammy Jam, with a quick question. Do .NET positions require you to do DSA test? DSA. Help me out with DSA. What's the acronym there? You see DSA solutions in Python, Java, C++. Hey, it's Litany. Hello. Data structures and algorithms. I don't typically see that, no. He just wants you to get the problem solved. If you're looking for a more advanced role with one of the FANG companies, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, or Google, notice Microsoft isn't in that mix. They will ask you for those types of things, especially if you're looking for some sort of an engineering role on one of the main products. Otherwise, no, they just want you to get code done. So, you started turning down job listings if they have some take-home test requirement. If you have a base, if you have some base repository of code out there that you can point folks to and say, here's some of the code that I've written, I'm with you. When folks ask me, hey, we'd like to know how good you are at coding, would you take this test? No. The reason that you're asking me to be involved and work with coding and things for it is because you've seen this stream, you've seen my videos. If you're coming around and asking me to fill out a thing that says, well, prove to us how good you really are, you're at odds with asking me to show you something and you've watched my stuff. No. Be careful. Turning folks down on that can burn some bridges. Can. Not saying it will, but there are folks who will not be happy that you stand them up based on that test. Cool. Thank you, friends who clicked through and liked the video I already shared over to TikTok about about Copilot going crazy. Is that other thing still set? There's a... I'm not going to go through it right now. Hey, Lemon Sauce. Going well? Hacker rank stuff? Sorry. If you're asking me to do one of those, sorry, not happening. I'm going to nuke that. Application configuration repository. I'm going to get rid of this as well. They're both going to get yanked. So this should break a little bit here. Add application configuration. Yeah. Yeesh. No. We're going to delete this code also because we're going to make this easier. Add Postgres services. Nope, that goes away too. And this is going to need to be updated somewhere down in here. So it doesn't know how to do this. Good. And where was it that I was actually creating? Yeah. Where's that? So there it is. It's created the builder configuration. So we don't need to inject that configuration, and this thing doesn't exist anymore. You should blow. ETH broke. I can load this. Allure the Crow, last time you interviewed with Amazon, you refused to take their coding test because 90 minutes to solve 2 arbitrary DSA problems for a position that has nothing to do with that level. Yeah. However, that's something about the culture of Amazon, is that they are very lockstep standard. They don't deviate from their policies and direction at all. And folks that challenge that, they don't want. James has live coding tests. No testing needed if you actually seen someone code before. I cannot tell you how bad people are at coding. Yes. I go back, honestly, normally include your GitHub in the CV. Yeah. Yeah. So back in 2000, I was a senior developer at a very small .com company, and we were looking to hire some folks to be web developers for us. So I put together a very simple, and all the folks that were being shown over to us had zero experience building web pages. So we started putting together a very simple test, a Word document that had 4 or 5 questions on it that folks could fill out and answer very flexibly about how they would go about building a website. The first question was, write some simple HTML to capture a name and street address in a table. So I'm looking for your use of table HTML tags. The second question was, make the label for the name blue. Third question was, put a star next to the address. Or, no, set a maximum length of the address field of 50 characters. And the last thing was, add a submit button so that this content can be saved to the database. Literally just asking for basics of HTML, and this was in 2000. I had so many people that HR brought in take that test and either fail it miserably or turn it back in and say, I don't know how to do this, and walk out. That HR came to me and said, you need to make this easier. I was like, I can't. I'm literally asking people how to write stuff on the screen. Like, this is stuff you have to do on day one, and they don't know how to do it. They're not qualified. I can't hire them. It wasn't, and it was purposefully fill it out on a piece of paper. If you got the tags wrong, but you had some idea of how to do this, I think I even asked, how do you do this in CSS as the last question? How do you format those colors in CSS as the last question? if you made an attempt and at least knew table TRTD tags, okay. But these people knew nothing. Nothing. Code steroids. What are you talking about? Code steroids. What? If I'm saving these values, I could get and fetch them. I've never heard of code steroids. Oh, please, Void Matrix. Come on now. Yeah, that was 2000, right? We're talking 23 years ago. So, I could get those values from... Right, this returns an I configure. So, right? So, I could say... where else is this reference? Let's go look for that. Yeah, it's receiving it over here. Okay. Right, it's configuring its nah. Coffee is like whey protein for programmers? Aren't you closed-minded? Aren't you a little closed-minded there with your account that you opened less than a month ago? Don't feed the troll, friends. How does Twitch make you a programmer? Twitch doesn't make you a programmer. What you do with what you watch on Twitch makes you a programmer. I don't want that. But I do want to get the configuration, and I do want to store it. Twitch has nothing to do with programming? Tell me more. Because I've been doing this for 6 years. You've been watching for a month. Tell me more. How you doing there, One Punch Mac? Hello. You've been doing this for 7. I've been doing social media for 15. Don't play the I've been doing this more and better than you game with me. Because you'll lose every time. Oh, you've been programming for 7. So good of you. I was a college instructor in 1995, teaching folks how to program. Tell me more. Tell me more. Really, I'm soft. Tell me more. You made a joke and I crumble? How am I crumbling? Tell me more. Wow. Wow. Whatever. That's not the kind of community that we do here. That's... Come on now. Really? It is. So, yeah, you don't have an argument. I lift up and help folks. And you want to get into an argument with me? Come on. Come on. Really? I hope that made you feel good. Yeah, somebody who wants attention. Shame on me for being nice. Thank you, Loviz, right? Shame on me.
You keep using the word.
I do.
I do not think it means what you think it means.
No, it doesn't. All right, so I'm going to load the application configuration here. I think there's a default settings. Where did it go? Application. And these are the administrator configuration things. Why didn't it jump there? Application. There we go. It still didn't jump there. What? Oh, yeah, that's not the right one. This one. If I want to load this from there, these are settings that I'm going to be fetching. I don't want to really do a for loop across this. What if I wrote a... Where's this in? This is in... Ooh, I could do something interesting here. No. What if we do a... application configuration load from load from configure load from configuration, and we load I configure tags app. Watch this. Right? Don't be too hard on the troll. Yeah, they just want attention. 0 content and 2 followers. Yeah. Look, when I see somebody who jumps on here who has an account that's been around for less than a month, they've got a very short rope. Very short rope. So let's call this new config, out config. New application configuration. Thank you for the follow. Probably a Java dev wishing they had Link. Oh, come on now. Come on now. So let's see. There's a couple of settings that we want to load in here. Site name equals config, get configuration by ID. And we actually have the keys here, settings keys. I can just use these, right? So I could say settings keys site name, right? Oh shoot. All right, fine. Async task. In which case we may. Hey there, 3D Polyray. This is going to be weird to do it like that. What if I go get all the settings and parse it out and write it down? Application configuration. Right. I could just return that. Right, and then I could turn around and I don't need this. Don't need that. Don't need this. Don't need that. Gonna dramatically simplify all this. Right, because the get configuration by ID that we wrote here, if it doesn't have one, returns a new instance. So how's things 3D Polywraith? Link is nice. Yep. So good to see so many of our friends tuned in today. Thank you so much for joining. You need a third monitor, 2 for developments and 1 for Jeff. Hop in the cloud. That's very nice. Let me do an async task. Save configuration. Can we do that? And take in an I configure. And can I do await set configuration by ID? No. That should be a constant. Config key, let's call it that. Application, that should be that. This. Well, that was easy. So now down here, you researched XR glasses. Ooh, Dirtborn, tell me more. Yes, I'm very interested in XR glasses. Started a full stack dev position, 3D Polywraith. We gotta celebrate that. Congratulations. I've been looking at, and I just haven't pulled the trigger on it. I've been looking at Immersed VR is making a device called the Visor. And I've shown their software here live on stream. Really, really cool stuff. Really, really expensive. And it's not going to be released until sometime next year. Like, don't get me wrong. That's very cyberpunk, that look. Very cyberpunk. I look at that and I want to try it. It doesn't ship until later in the spring, and dropping $1,000 on this. I've never been able to get more than 2 screens. I've never been able to get a virtual screen running with Immersed. So, I don't know. Is this a new .NET 8 new Blazor web app? Not yet. We're going to get there. Okay, so that's going to give me one of these. Okay, so I have the configuration, so I can get my application configuration, and I can store it then, right? If you can dodge a wrench, you can write a Blazor app. I like that. I like that, worm peas. That's good. I'm not going to do that. Let's do this. Application configuration. That looks weird, but it is. X-Real Air 2, a bit pricey in Sweden. Interesting. Okay. So that's going to give me an application configuration no matter what, right? Even if I have the empty? Yeah. It'll give me some application configuration. So then if we are configured, add security context. This is a method that I wrote. Yeah, we're going to need to update this. I am just about out of time, though. See how it's going down and saying get the connection strings? Yeah, we're gonna move all that around. I have a have the Quest 2 with the battery pack attached. Love it. I need, even hooked up to my production machine here where I've got a GeForce 3060. It's not enough horsepower to do extra screens. It does get funky sometimes, Sky of Breeze. I agree. Right? I've got a fully loaded GPU here. Like, it's the NVIDIA 3060. It's got power. And so, yeah, I struggle. Stream VR screen setup. I'll have to try this, their 3080. Right, Sky of Breeze. Ooh, beer up with the 4090. Impressive.
What's that?
The 4090, it's the next generation after mine. Okay? Your 1060 took a knee. Yeah. And one less kid. So I need to change this slightly. So instead of getting from iConfiguration, we're going to get it from my configure thing that I'm passing around. Because I'm going to be able to come in here instead of saying iConfiguration, I'm going to say iConfigure tags app. And right, I'm going to say what? Configuration? Yeah. And the configuration string is security connection string. So we're going to say, right? Get configuration by ID. We're getting a string, and we're getting this. Wait a sec. Let's pull this out. Connection string equals await. Go get it! Now it doesn't like that because we're not in... What? I can't use it like that. $2080 still holding out. I have a 2080 in my laptop, and it runs great. 4070 Ti. Oh yeah, I bet it does jammy jam. From an i7 950. I've shared this. I've shown this before. This is a Ryzen 5900X, 12 cores. So I've got 24 logical processors on this machine. Plus, 3070, I'm sorry. Plus the 3070 running on this. So it's, right, the GPU is decoding the video you're seeing here. I'm not sure why it's doing 3D stuff. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, the video encoding is what you're seeing here. And I fully expect that it's pushing stuff over to there. But I'm barely touching the memory, right? It's the streaming is using my video. So, Roller Coaster Tycoon. Nice. Yeah. This is... I can't do a where T new like that to put the constraint on it. And also handle doing just get a string value from over there. I'd have to wrap this up. Not terrible. I don't really want to do that. Yeah, once I have the configuration pulled out, we should be okay, but and I don't need that. That should be okay. Yeah, it does the migration here. This is where it's pivoting and deciding between the providers. Okay. Okay, we can work with this. Let's go back up here. I'm going to add a method. Actually, I suppose I could just do task from result string dot empty. And then over to my database one. Right. This one. Right. Actually, that should work, right? Oh, this one, string empty if we don't have a value. So now I can go back to here. I can do that. I don't need this. So if string is null or empty, I need the provider coming back with this, and then I can grab, and I know which provider to go get stuff from, and I can start that appropriately instead of doing this back and forth with SQLite. So let's do this. I think I called it security provider. Right? Yep. So if So if it is Postgres, right, then we're going to say use npg SQL, and we're going to pass in the connection string that was fetched. Do all the things, and away it goes. Else if here SQLite add the security context, but point to the SQLite connection string. Yeah. Give me 1 second, Dirtborn. I'm happy to answer that question. Just a second. So that fixed that part. There's still more to go here. I expect this to blow up. Yeah. Application configuration 64, really? Yeah, don't need this anymore. Because we're not doing that. Application configuration provider. Aha. You. Yep. You're going away too. Configuration source 13. Yep, we don't need this one either. Which should blow up where that's referenced. App extensions 8. Because we're removing these pieces. Oh yeah, look at all that stuff. In UI customization, yep. Good. That's where I expect it to blow up. Removing application configuration. And that's okay. Even though those are sitting out there, there's a format that happened in there. Even though they're sitting out there as a as commented out, we will delete them in just a little bit. Let me head back over to the main screen as I wrap up here. Let me go to this question from Dirtborn. Here we go. Big question. Right there. Oh, not that one. This question. You're at an internship, apprenticeship until April. There's no real hope of getting a job since they have 4 people without projects right now. How should you spend your coming months? Should I hunt on LinkedIn, or is there anywhere you would recommend you job search? A .NET developer, a Swede, but open to anywhere. Definitely connect with folks in Sweden. My friends Jimmy and Jessica Engstrom run a number of user groups and a number of various groups that'll help you meet and get connected with other developers. Start a little bit of that networking. Talk to folks around your community. President not sure. Thank you.
Subscribed for 14 months.
14 months with us. Really appreciate that. I'll make a donation to the American Cancer Society, but I'm finishing this question for Dirtborn, and we're going to wrap things up here. Talk to other folks. Yes, spend time looking on LinkedIn. Look in your local job boards appropriately for you. Jimmy is an MVP speaker. His last name is Engstrom. You can find them, right, Coding After Work here on Twitch. They're in the midst of moving right now. They're moving house. But, right, Coding After Work. Take a look at their stream. They can help get you pointed to folks local to Sweden that would have opportunities for you. Yeah, I think I think there's an opportunity. There's opportunities everywhere. I know there's a lot of folks in the Stockholm and Swedish communities that are hiring .NET developers. Mead of Enum with a question here. Do I commit and push uncompilable code? I commit and push to my private repository uncompilable code at times. Yes, particularly as I finish a sitting of work. I want to save that stuff so I can pick up where I left off. The code that I did just send up, I don't have a pull request open for it yet. I will create a pull request. Hey, follow the White Rabbit.
Follow _the_white_rabbit just resubscribed for 16 months.
I need to rebase here. Refactoring configuration. I'm gonna make this a draft PR, and you can't even see this. I do avoid pushing onto an open branch. That an open pull request. Committing and saving it, absolutely save it to my repository that's being backed up on GitHub. Absolutely got to do that. Something happens and God forbid, house burns down, my machine crashes, dies, some damage happens to my machine, a tree falls on the house, what have you. I don't want to lose that content. So committing and putting your code somewhere else when you're done with it, whether you're actually it compiles or not, critical to the continuation of business. So, but when you have a save point a good save point that does work, absolutely save, commit, push, because you finished a segment of work. I finished a segment of work here. But the project isn't done, and if you look at the pull request that I just opened on GitHub, you'll see it's failing the tests because it doesn't build. And that's okay, because it's a draft PR. It's not ready to be merged yet. So, tomorrow, usual time, usual crime? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So I'll even mark the commits. Here's where I've left off at times, so that I know where to pick up. So, thank you so much, everybody, for joining. It's been a lot of fun writing some code, but I do have a couple things I need to take care of today that I want to catch up with, and move on and take a look at. Let me see who else is streaming on the big Twitch TV network. Who can I get you connected to that's doing something fun, something interesting out there? Let me see here. Let me get you connected to... You know what? Let's get you sent over to our friend Tim Bodette, who's an independent game developer, building and working on his next game. That's not how you spell his name. There you go. Thank you so much. I'll be back tomorrow. Same time we'll get started. We're going to dive in and we're going to unwrap more of this configuration and get it working, get it automatically migrating, building, and deploying websites for us. All right. So get ready to say hi to Tim. I'll be back tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day, wherever you might be. And until then, I wish you good health and good coding. Take care.